Moses tells us that God is going to send one like him, and we better listen to everything he says. Who was Moses talking about? We have absolute proof that it was Jesus Christ, our Messiah. You got to see this. They were both born. Moses was born in those circumstances. Remember, he was put in the Nile River. Why? Because it had been ordered that all of the male Hebrew children were to be killed. Now our Messiah, King Herod, had put out this decree. They were all to be killed. Where did they both go? They both went to Egypt. Now Moses, he leaves this royal exalted position with Pharaoh. He leaves that position to go back to his people and set them free from the bondage that they were in. Our Messiah, he came to set the captives free. 40 days, we know that our Messiah fasted in the wilderness, and that's one of the things he says when he came, that the Spirit of the Lord was upon him, that he came to set the captives free. Well, Moses, 40 days on Mount Sinai, he fasts, he's in God's presence. He comes down, his face is shining. When you look at Mount Sinai, when he comes down, he has to wear this veil over his face. Our Messiah on the Mount of Transfiguration, his face was shining like the sun. And who was there? Moses was there. Moses, he selected how many people to spy out the land? 12, one from each tribe. Our Messiah chose 12 apostles. That number is not random. When Moses picked 70 elders to judge with him, our Messiah also sent 70 to go speak the gospel. Now Moses, when the people were disobedient, he intercedes, he goes and speaks to God on their behalf. Now we have a Messiah who is the one mediator between man and God. And when we see this manna from heaven that was coming down, our Messiah is now the bread of life. He is literally manna straight from heaven. Moses instituted the first Passover, and something specific's happening here. What we call the Last Supper was a Passover meal. The Passover lamb was to be slaughtered on the 14th day of Nisan. Well, our Messiah, his crucifixion took place on the 14th of Nisan. Now remember, they were to slaughter it. The congregation of Israel was to slaughter the Passover lamb at twilight. That's when our Messiah was crucified. This story is connected. Now Moses starts the old covenant with the blood of animals. Our Messiah says, this is the new covenant in my own blood. So here we are, they're both instituting these covenants, and Moses strikes a rock, and water, life-sustaining water, comes from this rock. Our Messiah is the rock, and from him flows living water. And when the serpents were attacking the Israelites, Moses lifted up this bronze serpent on a post. And our Messiah said, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believes in him may have everlasting life. Moses, he dies before he can enter the promised land with his people. So before they enter that promised land, Moses dies. Our Messiah dies before the promised Holy Spirit is poured out on the day of Pentecost. Our Messiah is the one that was sent like Moses to set the captives free. And it's like Moses said, you better listen to everything he says, because your life depends on it. God bless.